Eagles versus Vikings. Let's talk about it. First person I want to give credit to is Kevin Patullo. For some reason, I've been hearing on the radio and television all around that Kevin Patullo needs to be fired and this wasn't a good game and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Don't be married to a narrative. When a guy does well, we give him credit. If he does bad, we say what we see. Tell the truth. That's how I do it. I don't have a narrative to be married to just hold down. For some reason, I can't see why people can't give credit when it is due. Kevin Patullo made critical calls late in that game that brought us a win. The passing game has been in disarray this entire season. Jalen Hurts was perfect in his quarterback rating. There was players open the entire game, and he was able to figure it out and get those guys the ball. So Kevin Patullo, good job. Is there things that we can do in order to improve the run game? Yes, but the passing game was the strength of the Minnesota Vikings defense. They were ranked second in the league in passing defense. The Eagles made them look like they were last in the league. So credit to Kevin Patullo with succeeding in the passing game, and you deserve that credit and those flowers. Next person, Jalen Hurts. I will tell the truth about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts balled out, and I love to see it. I know this is in him. We've seen it in multiple Super Bowls. We've seen it in critical situations, and this guy was dialed in this ball game. Ball placement was on point. When you think about the game, he made one bad throw. It was on the last drive of the game on a second down. He threw a slant that was behind A.J. Brown with an all-out blitz in his face. The only bad throw he made the entire game. The one to A.J. Brown prior to that was like A.J. was like running a basic cross. That was a bad route by A.J. Brown. He sped cut. He did a speed cut when he should have just hooked up first window, like stopped his momentum and break it down more. He'd have been able to catch that ball. And then Devontae Smith on a fade ball mistimed his jump. That was a perfect ball. Jalen Hurts balled out in that game is an understatement. Made critical calls. That A.J. Brown's second touchdown was a sight adjustment or a route that he checked into for A.J. Brown. And also the sluggo, I believe the sluggo was a pump that he gave A.J. Brown to seal that game. So Jalen Hurts' ball placement was outstanding, so I got to give those guys credit. Offensive line can be improved upon. When you lose Cam Jurgens in the middle of a game, it's going to take some adjustments. They were running the ball with some success in that first drive, and then it seems like the Vikings figured that out. That's the area that Kevin Patullo and the offensive line had to figure out in order to get us going. But I don't expect Brett Toth to come in and be Cam Jurgens. I thought the Eagles were hitting their head against a brick wall trying to run the same scheme with Toth in at center, and the run game wasn't working. However, Toth adjusted really well in the passing game, and the Eagles were able to make some hay when it came to protecting the quarterback, and Jalen Hurts was on point. So the offensive line gets like a C grade because, run blocking, not so well. Pass blocking, they did really good. So that's that with the offensive line. Let's go to the skill positions. Saquon can only do so much. There's no yards that he's really missing. It's just that he needs more running lanes, and he's getting hit in the backfield more than any other back in the National Football League. So they tried to get him touches and to get those 18 carries and not many yards. It's still the Eagles were committed to it. And I thought the intent helped the Eagles out. It actually opened up the passing game. It's not always about how many yards you get in the ball game. It's about the intent. The Vikings knew that the Eagles were serious about running the ball. Out of the first 11 plays, the Eagles ran 8 run plays. So the Vikings knew what they had to deal with most of the day, and it opened up some of those passing lanes. So if you can do that, you still can have balance and still win. So Saquon needs to get the ball without being touched, better for the offensive line. So again, Saquon did his job. The receivers, ball. Devontae, tough as nails. 165 pounds soaking wet. That dude is a baller. Just outstanding the entire game. The post for the touchdown, it was a circle post, opened the DB's hips, and to the sideline and then broke it back in on the post. He wasn't impatient. He took his time. That was a great route. And what about the one over the middle on a deep cross and that he got smacked on? So just a tough dude, makes play after play. Love that. Wish he can make a Pro Bowl or two in his career. I would love to see that because he deserves it. One of the best route runners in the league. AJ, in critical moments, got his job done. He came out with fire to get open. I thought the Eagles moved him around and put him in motion a lot more this game and made it more difficult. He ended up getting his first touchdown because of a motion by Kevin Patullo, which caused the Vikings to miscommunicate that, and he ended up being guarded by Josh Metellus, which is a safety. And that was because of the motion, and that was a scheme. Now, the route wasn't, he wasn't a part of the route, but the secondary reaction, him and Jalen Hurts, and the way that shook out was Josh Metellus is a novice when it comes to covering scramble drill. He was on the bottom, AJ was on the top. That should never happen, but you got a safety matchup on AJ Brown, so anything can happen. So AJ Brown did a good job of catching the ball. He put one on the ground. It was a tough catch. I don't know if I can say put it on the ground. It was a tough catch. If he had ran a better route, would have definitely got the ball, caught the ball, but overall, I thought A.J. Brown balled, and his attitude and his nuance and all of that stuff the last few games, he fired off the ball, and I will say that, especially in this game. He's fired off the ball. Tight ends didn't do much in this game, caught the ball, so just break out even.